Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Moin.
This fine box here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is just the front, but the whole fine box.
Everything that you've seen
everything
here.
that you've seen here, $164.99. In here, $164.99. In here, $164.99. In here, $164.99.
WTF. Welcome, everybody. Hello, Jerry.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's only $164.99. It's not like it's $165.
Almost nothing. Spare change. No, I'm not going to rant about this. Even before they told them about the pricing, I knew this game wasn't for me. So, have fun with it. Do what you want. Just don't fuck Legion up.
Jerry is drinking Hello There IPA. That's what Jerry's drinking.
So,
oh no.
Yes. This calls for extra brown lemonade.
Oh no. It's going to be one of those nights. Outrageous.
I was thinking about getting some beer. Then I remembered I need to work tomorrow.
Yeah, in many respects, beer, vodka, crack cocaine, meth, any of those would be less worrying than you chasing the brown dragon. Just saying.
Yes. So how have you been?
I've not been bad.
Have you had fun in the office tonight? Or today, rather.
I amused myself. And at the end of the day, isn't that the most important thing?
Yes.
Or filming some stuff with Cubicle 7 for their new 40k RPG.
I am a very poor host. Let's welcome everybody in chat. Crispin, Dutch, Rumbly8, Soap Dodger, Danley, Demon Sub, and...
It is hard to be humble, Chris.
Fuck, and Genuine. Hello!
Very hard.
You remembered. Yeah.
So that was good crack.
Yeah, that was interesting. But to be honest... And Chad, this is a question for you too. Am I that far out when I say a core set for a game at 165 is a wee bit expensive?
I mean, what's GW charging for theirs these days?
I don't know. I literally don't know.
Some of them have been in the triple digits for a while now. And then every now and again they'll go, here's a subpar version that only contains one squad, part of the rules, and no terrain, and it's only 50 quid. And people go, oh my God, you're so wonderful. So it's not like they're the only company putting the arm in. They should get one of those tattoos, to show how deep they can get. Just one of those little rings. With Marvel Crisis Protocol, we got to here. But now with Star Wars Crisis Protocol, I'm all the way up to the Oxter.
Welcome, Nick. Sorry you had to see
Is
that.
it depth gauge? Nice. Marvel Crisis Protocol Star Wars Edition is $165 for the starter set.
The expansions are $44.99.
Yeah.
It's why? Because they can. It's not even that they have just a game with a similar rule set and added the Star Wars tags. I'm guessing Marvel is its own IP tags already flocked on there.
Oh yeah. Presumably they had to go another way. Well, I don't know. depending on what the licensing is, and they're covering everything in Legion now anyway from Asmodee. So the license will be to produce tabletop game and miniatures based on X, Y, and Z, and X, Y, and Z will be cartoons, digital media, live action. It'll be distinctly defined, and Star Wars Crisis Protocol doesn't appear to be doing anything different from Legion, just another scale and system. So I don't think they're operating on another license. This will just be another game under their existing license.
I'm guessing as well. And I'm calling it Shitterpoint from now on. Simply
Good.
Because even you were annoyed that there wasn't a what's his face, Mace Windu in the core set.
Yeah, of course not.
And he's not even an expansion, at least not yet. So
it is. I think it was Limburger, Cheesy, said a few weeks ago whenever I was talking about this, it's entirely possible the people who have decided to call this Star Wars Crisis Protocol don't even realise that there is a Mace Windu novel called Shatterpoint that they've taken the name from. They may just have plucked that one out their hole, like the Irish magician. Couldn't pull a rabbit out of a hat, so he pulled a hair out of his hole.
That's not out of the realms of possibility, I think.
Oh, yeah, very much so. It's good,
Well,
good times.
Let's go with that. They're just not very fond on the core material. And they also just went for prequel and earlier things. So there's no Darth Vader as of yet. No Luke Skywalker. No Leia. No Han. No
Well,
Chewie.
you know, I suppose in the grand scheme of things, there are more forces to throw around the place. You've got your clones for the Republic. You've got the various separatist armies, because there were the droids and the Geonosians and X, Y, and Z. So
the witches and whatnot. So
so there's more things that they can throw out there, and they just have to bunch them roughly into separatists or loyalists, Republicans. It's good, isn't it?
I guess there's something to it. And after all, we can't help it.
More Jedi powers. Well, yeah, I suppose. Because if you don't have a ton of Jedi leaping around the place and using all your Crisis Protocol powers, you've not really got much of a game there. You've more or less just got Star Wars Legion, but you're paying more for it because it's in a bigger scale.
Yeah.
So, you need people to leap and jump and skip. Oh, man.
More.
Steve Hildrew, Death by Dragons, for Kings of War fans, ran a Gungan army at the Stains of Blood tournament 3 weeks ago. His tournament reports up on his channel. It's fucking hilarious. Just throw that one out there.
Did he stay in character for Jar Jar Binks' big honking general?
No, I think he's got more pride than that. I mean, not many. He did, after all, run a Gungan army at a tournament, but still, it's particularly weird. Hello, Jabascat.
Hello, dear man, and Nick, and all the others I have missed, and I need a drink. This is going to be one of those evenings.
Might be. Who else is excited about the Space Nam from Wargames Atlantic?
I think I've seen the release, but I'm not sure I'm excited about it.
I know, but I could finally put my Jesse the Body Ventura and Arnold Schwarzenegger figures from Hassle-Free on the table with some guys to back them up. I can now run around being all predatory. It's going to be fucking amazing.
I had some eBay fun.
Yes.
I got myself this little turntable.
Right. Oh, a tiny turntable. Look, it's one of those tanks that's just about to be sent to Ukraine.
Yeah, but from the Russian side, this is a K2.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Russia have been repurposing so many old tanks recently. There's talk about them sending their T-14s, the Armadas there, as a small number of them. Well, considering they only had 2 to show off at the last May parade, and they had to be towed because they weren't working, I'm going to assume it's both of them, and they're not going to work very well. It'll be funny to see how they work.
The fun I had with this tiny turntable was I looked at eBay searching for the cheapest I could get. And every auction had the same picture, and every
Yes.
auction said diameter 14 centimeters. The cheapest auction said 18. I bought the cheapest, even though I knew it would be only 14. But I even asked them prior to purchase. I didn't get any email back. And when they sent me the tiny one, I left a harsh review. As not as advertised. You said
Nice.
I'd be getting a 18 centimeters, and this is only 40 centimeters. Nah, not getting 5 stars. Today I received an email. If I were so kindly to alterate my review, they would refund me €3.
Wow.
Nope. You need to shell out more money to buy me. I'm cheap, but I'm not that cheap.
You are that cheap. How much does a bottle of your brown lemonade cost?
I have to guess $1.50.
Well, you're exactly half as cheap then. Because after one bottle of that, you're anyone's. We know that.
Yeah, but I hadn't had one when email arrived, so... Oh, Dave, that's a thought I didn't really have. I could report them to eBay. But then again, it's not worth the hassle, I think.
There's Cookie, living life to the max, enjoying somebody else talk for once. Gives him a chance to get wired in this Assassin's Creed. Good times.
Oh, Cookie Cutter. No, Skater. Why do I always refer to Cookie Cutter?
I've no idea.
The Cookie Dude.
Cookie.
In that case, we might as well start, I think.
Sure, why not?
Where's my button? There's my button. Hey. So, Pathetic Berserker is finishing his helicopter
Cold War.
project.
Yes. And what a magnificent beast it's been. Who would know there was so much to learn about Soviet flying buses?
Well, now I want him to paint them yellow like the American school buses.
Do you want them to be shot at? Jeez,
Yes!
calm down, man. Oh, I've seen a thing today. Oh, a meme. It's like 36 mass shootings in 24 days. Start wishing you a peaceful and safe 2023. And all I can think of is it's 37 mass shootings in 24 days. Your meme's already out of date. So,
It's horrible.
oh, it's hilarious. But, yeah, interesting, considering how much Red Dawn type stuff is coming out at the moment. Anyway, it's nice to see these things being chucked out there in the relevant look. And he's done a really nice job of both the 3D design and then the actual execution of it. I don't know if I could be arsed at that scale.
I guess I wouldn't.
I mean,
But-
I say that deep down we all know if I was doing it, I would, but you know, but I wouldn't be 3D printing anything. I'd just be cutting and gluing sheets of clear acetate or perspex to get my cockpits, and that would send me up the fucking wall.
Yeah, probably. And let's be honest, I think he just did it to rub it under your nose and say, ha, I did it.
Yeah, you know, to each their own.
Which is quite fair. If you went through the hassle of making all those tiny little flying things. Just look at it, how many there are.
Well, I mean, there's not that many.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, so 7.
Enough for a crusade.
Well, substantial enough for a crusade. I don't know if the Hounds can be used to transport or if they're just gunships in Team Yankee or General, because I don't really pay attention to modern warfare. It's enough to get me as far as World War II, for God's sakes. But when you consider the sort of loadouts that a lot of people are doing, most tank squadrons are 5 tanks or 5 anti-aircraft, you know, and realistically they're going to be picking these things off as soon as they see them zipping around a corner. Yeah, the camera's interesting because he's based it on the Soviet one that appears in Red Dawn, but clearly it's a specific camo scheme. So if you look at the banner image, it looks a lot less stark, like most things do once they've got a bit of light and some dust on them. It sort of kills the camo quite substantially.
Yeah.
I do like how they look. The lovely sky blue interiors.
It's
I've got some resin stuff in that colour. I should really paint it.
nice transfers for the numbering and the red star.
Yeah.
Overall, a very impressive project.
Delightfully so, yes. On the other hand, I've got the Airwolf theme stuck in my head. It's something to do with a helicopter in the middle of some sort of red, rugged scrubland.
But there's no black one suddenly coming up from behind.
It's just off shot there. You can't see it. Ernest Borgnin's in there, grinning like a motherfucker, and some Soviets pop up in front of him. They're about to get exploded to death. Blue Thunder was balls in comparison to Airwolf.
Yeah.
You take your Blue Thunder and jog the fuck on.
Airwolf had the turbo mode almost as fast as a jet fighter.
Airwolf was great. Blue Thunder just had... I like to think Blue Thunder's a prequel to Jaws. It was the shit that went down there that ended up with Roy hitting the bottle and then getting in that car accident where he killed a kid, and that's why he ended up being shipped off to some podunk town in the middle of fuck nowhere out on the coast because he couldn't handle life in the big city anymore.
That's a universe I can get behind.
Makes sense. Remember that bit in the boat where they're telling the story of like how they got all their scars, and they're all drinking heavily, and Roy's off to one side, and you see him, he's rubbing his belly as if there's a scar there, and he's going to tell him the story and realizes it's not really the place to tell that. That's where like the steering wheel or something dug into him after he mowed that kid down and hit the tree. That's, you know, that's where they had to do surgery, remove a bit of something from his stomach. So anyway, yes. But yeah,
Great project.
Really good.
Pathetic Berserker.
It'll be fascinating to see where he goes next, because obviously with all of the aircrafty that's been chucked out there, it's all been not just scratch built but designed and 3D printed. So will they continue in that vein with the other vehicles and the like, or will they move over to actually just the stock Team Yankee stuff? Because I know obviously there's a lot of Red Dawn stuff coming, including things like the minis. So you two can have Baby and Patrick Swayze.
Maybe if he has needs something as a palate cleanser, he could do an Airwolf now.
Yeah, I think he should. I think he definitely should.
So let's venture on to the next project. That is Hutch.
Hutch.
He's doing the Lord's own work.
Yeah. I've actually got that Saga Force, the very first one there, and it's painted and everything.
Oh no!
Fuck all you fucks, And to be fair, it was a guy in Estonia painted it and sent it to me because he despaired of ever seeing me actually complete a fucking thing. So, you know, cheers.
That's a lot of...
Thank you, Sven.
Metal.
That is. That's the Anglo-Danes, I think. Anglo-Dane or Anglo-Saxon. I think it may be sold as Anglo-Saxon. Anyway, regardless, they've all got Dane axes. The Hearthguard with two-handed weapons are separate. They're not part of that initial set. But a nice blend of warriors. They do have the cast spear syndrome.
I've seen that.
Just throw them in the bin. There's nothing good about a cast spear, and it will not survive long. I've had to replace swords and stuff multiple times so far from them. But I digress.
Oh, but while we're on the subject of digressing and casting, today I've seen the video from, what's they called again?
Little Wars TV.
Yes! How they make tiny fighting man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of molds before you get actually the casting mold.
Well, casting molds will only pull, depending on what you're pulling out of them, 100, 150, 200 times tops. Resin substantially less. So you need to make sure that you've got a master and then you've got your spares to pull off, because otherwise you'll rip it apart and then you have to go back and resculpt or remold the entire thing from the start to be in the hole.
Yeah, I guess so.
But really nice set of Dark Age figures. And I like how bright and colourful they are.
Any guesses if he had replaced the spears? They look like it. They're way too straight for being cast spears, aren't they?
What was that for the Viking set? Lower down? Yeah. They look more like steel with the pressed heads. If you look at the head of the spear, you'll be able to see.
Yeah.
Because if it just flattens and is ground to a point.
That's why I was asking.
A steel one.
The heads really do look flat.
Yeah.
See?
Whereas the cast ones will still be flat, but there'll be a noticeable end, like an actual metal spearhead put on a wooden haft, whereas it just goes smoothly into the actual blade, tip, point, stabbery.
Into the stabbing end. the business end, as we call it.
The business end. These are really nice. Like I said, I like the bright colours. I keep seeing people talking about Dark Ages and Vikings and stuff going on. Of course, they use a lot of browns. You're going, no, they didn't. Yeah.
But why did they do?
Because Hollywood likes to do that whole. I mean, if anybody's seen the Vikings TV show, there's so much dark leather, and it's like the X-Men going from the comic books to everybody gets black leather instead of spangly yellow outfits. That's how Hollywood views it.
Just like every Mexican movie gets a brown filter.
So you're in Mexico when the sky and everything else turns slightly orange. Speaking of which, there's a place called, I think it's actually called Maiden Antrim. It's really weird. But it's like a Mexican taco shop has opened here this week past, so I've got to go down and just see what they're like.
I hope they're good.
Oh, I don't mind if they are or not. Yeah, Crusaders, of which there are many.
Weird miniatures. Very weird looking miniatures. Where's the judges at? There's the judges.
Down, deeper and down. It would be a shame if you got rid of those, because he's painted those Dread figures, or rather 2000 AD figures, absolutely beautifully. So, I mean, why get rid of them?
I have to say, at some angles, the motorcycle looks like a bobby car.
But both works. I got it myself, Doug, simply because I had to order some World War II stuff, and the price that North Star pays for shipping, it's like, I need to include something else in this, otherwise it's not fucking worth my time. So I was like, well, I could get something random that I might or might not use at some point, and in the end I went, fuck it, I'll just get the 2022 version just to save me having to stick in all the FAQs, amendments, and erratas.
Oh, look. Games Workshop tanks that have a complete hull.
TT Combat said that they were going to start selling the undercarriage.
Somebody already made a meme that 20 quid upgrade piece from Games Workshop store online. just a piece of corrugated plastic. I mean, I get when they need to want to save on material, but surely... wasn't it worth it, though? I don't know.
Well, it keeps some mischief off the streets, I suppose.
Probably.
Those are the Gene Steelery cult heads, aren't they? In with the Marine, or not Marines, in with the Guard.
Yeah, he says so, that those are cults. Cultists! Filthy cultists.
Somebody needs to virus bomb the shit out of that planet. It's clearly lost. I like how he's not gone utterly Celty. You know, they're not all painted in purples and blues, and you know their uniforms aren't covered in purples and blues and making them look highly. You know, it is just the slow creeping sublimation.
Yeah. Somebody called for an exterminatus. Oh, those look probably advanced. Have been blessed with an additional arm.
Yeah, that's hybrids for you. They're all good. Obviously, what you really want is my Lindy, the assassin, in her hybrid form. That would be great.
I can't really tell how that would look because I never played that.
You couldn't play it. It was a novel.
Oh, okay.
She was
So
part of the Inquisitor's retinue.
Not even a model. Oh, I might have read it and somehow totally forgot about it.
Oh, I forget about my Lindy. She was great. It's what I always thought of all assassins. They were all like versions of her. And then Games Workshop went, nah, they're all kind of mad dogs, bastards. And you went, well, this just sounds like shit assassins then. Hi, Pete.
Welcome, Panzerkabut.
Yeah. A ton of stuff. Obviously, apparently you had to go much further than I did. So I should really keep you up to date. But, you know, you never call, you never write. Once again, though, it will be a crying shame if the 2000 AD stuff goes.
Yeah.
I mean, by that stage, it's probably already gone.
Possibly.
I'll cry so much. Cry.
So, what's next then? For the lovely people at home.
So, next, changing it up a bit.
A wee bit. But not too much.
No. It's Whamster Grimace. The most Whamstery of all Grimaces.
And he does Saga!
Could be Saga, could be Clash of Spears, could be both. It's all good. All good in the hood. This time round, going a bit of the old Mediterranean, steering clear of the British Isles. They are cold and damp places, full of miserable people.
I couldn't tell. Every time I was in England, it was very sunny.
Right. Sure you were in England?
Well, the place was called Eastbourne. The payment was a Great British Pounds.
Means nothing. Nothing.
Could have been a French exclave.
Yep, that makes more sense. So yes, getting into Age of Hannibal currently, so working on some Greeks, but has done a few other bits. Yeah, the Romans, they go the house. Obviously, ahead of the game for when Age of Caesar comes. Although those Romans look a little later, so maybe you're already Attius and Arthur up for them. Yeah. Anyway, what's this? Stop telling me things, computer. Please fuck off while I'm attempting to look at toys. Gobshites.
Age of Automation. Not for everybody. I love the way that the background is just some randomly stacked terrain pieces with odd miniatures.
They're coming for you. You don't know when they're going to get you. What I would like to see for the Greeks is a bit more of the history / groundwork they did for the Goths and stuff earlier, because the Greeks have multiple factions available in Hannibal and Alexander, so they can come from different places and have slightly different builds and characteristics, and also an overall sort of, you know, this is the sort of list they're building towards, because with the way Saga works now, you can build. It's much more flexible than it was. You can take essentially half points in things and mix and match shit in that respect. So you're not as rigidly adhering to 1 point equals 1 unit.
Are they late Romans? I don't know. Could be.
They are, insofar as the Romans have they have a battle board ability that lets them use them, plumbata. So if they're not equipped with a missile weapon, then they can fire these lawn darts out at like medium range. But it's a battle board ability rather than a specific equipment option for them.
Lawn Dart. That's a game I've not played in a long time.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
I guess there was a reason for it.
Lots of people stood underneath them and got injured. Some people got killed. They stopped marketing it as a toy. It's back now, though.
But potentially just with a weird tip not going anywhere.
Still not convinced by missile firing pike blocks. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's supposed to represent. Presumably the length of the sarissas just poking forward, because you only really have a very short distance that you can do it, which makes it almost fucking pointless, but you know.
Very pointy.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm not particular. I do have a unit of 25 macadamia nuts somewhere. I got from War Games Foundry many years ago, and I was thinking about chucking them in as like a mercenary pike block somewhere, but I might not. Anyway.
Yeah, short little update on Warhammer Grimace's project, as we have been here many times before. So I think it's safe for us to stumble into the next block of miniatures.
Yes.
Got 'em in their hobby blog, Team Yankee. Though these somehow look odd.
Do they?
Yeah, very flat.
Yeah, it's just because of what they are.
Pancakes?
Modern tanks. They took all the classy design stylings of the 1940s out of them and squashed them. Apparently, big tanks what stick up above hills get shot more. So, turn everything into a Roomba.
Could you imagine a all-terrain Roomba?
You know, I can. Got a Roomba recently. Had to get rid of it. Housemate wasn't impressed. Not whenever they found out it was just a bunch of rats with a frisbee glued on top of them.
I was thinking about the old joke that somebody suggested he should get a claymore and mount it on his Roomba, and every time somebody breaks into his home, he just releases the claymore Roomba.
That would work as well.
So I always thought the what's that TV show called again? Bot War?
Bot war, bot war, bot. War,
Where
war.
they have these little tiny
These are the bots. This is the war.
remote controlled stuff that.
It was called Robot Wars, so in many
Robot
respects you're correct.
Yes.
I think it was called something different in America, where it didn't have Ray Charles or Jeremy Clarkson.
I'm guessing it won't have Jeremy Clarkson anymore.
Yeah, it might have Jeremy Clarkson, but he's not done it in fucking forever.
Well, maybe now that Amazon has kicked him to the curb, he might need to go back.
I mean, they haven't really kicked him to the curb. He's still got another 3 series coming out. It's just when his contract expires in 2025, they're not going to renew it. And I don't think it's going to make a blind bit of difference to his budgeting on a day-to-day basis.
Well, probably not. I think he made enough money in his lifetime.
I'd like to imagine so. But yeah, Jill's done some lovely work on the teeny tanks. First unit, very simply done. Get them done, get them on the table. I'm going to point out some brush bristles for your antenna would look just tremendous. You've already got the antenna rack things at the back. Just drill them out and stick the little bristles in. Bomb. Don't even have to paint them. It's great. Do you think he spent it all on the shite farm? No, he already owned the farm. Soup. And then whenever his farmhand manager was retiring, he very cleverly got Amazon to pay to watch him fail at it, which meant they covered the costs of any of his failures for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think the episode I loved most was when he got the tractor. Yeah, but it's a Lamborghini. Yeah, and it's from Germany.
It's
It has
German
the
one
wrong
with the wrong
connections.
fittings for everything. Speed, power.
Sometimes my genius scares me.
Very much so. Well, how easy.
Hey, boy, welcome.
But yeah.
Again, a
Team
very short,
Yankee in the future.
a very short project update, but a very nicely done one.
Yeah, and also if you're looking to see how they were finished off, you've got the full paint breakdown there as well. So, I mean, in some cases you're going to have to work out where the shit goes yourself, but it's there.
And also, just remembering what tiny scale those are, the weathering looks very cool, very, very good.
It's on fleek, as I believe the kids say. Or book.
Could be.
Book, y'all. Book.
I wouldn't know. I'm way too old for that.
I learned that one from Stephen Fry. That's what the kids say. Instead of cool.
So the next one is from Doug the Fuggery.
Douglas the Fugless.
1644. Some odd date, that is.
Baroni. It's about the start of the Claw, before Inspector Gadget came to him.
Next time, Gadget, next time. Something
Or am I
along
thinking
those
of
lines.
Danger Mouse? Thinking of Danger Mouse. Silas Greenback, he was the Baron, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Anyway.
All the same to me. Yeah, Doug has done some, not just a few updates on his Baron's War project.
Well, I mean, if you leave him alone for a length of time, it is going to fill up. That's why you always have to stay on top of Doug all the time. Keep your eye on him.
Don't lose sight. You never know what he might be up to next time you see him.
Just explode away. Explode away. But yeah, interesting mix of both key nuggets and their chaff. Their arrow soakers that go in front. I particularly like the freehand 3 pike study on Percy's heraldry. I say that because I've attempted to paint fish on a shield multiple times because my family crest has got 3 fish, although not leaping flat like nature intended, and it's a pain in the hole, and I've given up on multiple occasions. In fact, no, you're a Pictish crossbow. You're a shield. Oh, you're not even going to be able to see this, but I've blobbed in roughly where my next fucking fish attempt is going to be. So it's
God, that's tiny.
It's like 3 blobs with big wavy blob in the middle, and someday those 3 blobs, 2 top, 1 bottom, will become Argent salmon. So yeah, well done, well done, Doug, for doing that.
Yeah, Genuine Vision is learning the fun of being a parent.
Shittery everywhere.
Yeah, that's what happens when you open the what's it called, the diapers way too early. Wasn't Our Fleek a 90s girl band?
I don't know.
Could be. You tell me.
Wasn't that Salt and Pepper?
Yeah, but don't think they call themselves girl band.
Ha! Yeah, you do whatever you want, Doug. He throws things at people's heads.
And
Tell them
just
to F
don't
off.
get the amount of buttons wrong or the wrong shade of green. People might get annoyed at that.
Tell them to wind their necks in the fuck.
I'm still waiting for the first death threats for my Rainbow Unicorn Battle Mech.
Oh, well, that answers the question. I was about to ask whether I was going to have normal for you, but I've got Raindrop mixed berry sour. So, since you said your Rainbow Unicorn's giving you death threats, I'll have that. Like, they are, because they're based on the Jura. Well, those ones are based on the Jura set. I have the original set from Claymore before they sold them to Antediluvian, and they're more standard, but they're still really nice figures, but there's just a lot of quilted Gambies and surcoats on them, so get away in the archers.
He looks like
Nice
he's
look.
very bored. He
Hey,
really
you know.
doesn't want to be there. Let's get
He's
shit to
probably waiting
do.
to cut the head off somebody, and nobody's appeared to cut the head off them. He's just fucking bored pissless. Apparently, some Elizabethan cavalry chargers were stopped by Gallowglass, who would cut the heads off their horses with a one-handed swing of their axe. They wouldn't even use two hands. That must have been a sight to behold. I would shit you right up when you come running along to discover people who apparently haven't progressed in the last 500 years, who are still willing to fuck your horse up.
Also, imagine the strength you need in an arm to behead a horse with one strike.
Yeah.
Didn't Mythbusters do something along those lines and try to
Don't
cut
know. Never seen it.
I think they tried to cut half a pig in half with a samurai sword.
Yeah, but the samurai swords weren't designed for killing pigs. They would take them down and get some convicts and cut the heads off them. But, you know, how big's a convict's neck? It's like, that big. Compared to a pig, you know, doing it wrong.
Maybe they should reshoot that and get some convicts in.
I still wouldn't watch it. You require, like, some sort of clever American-style channels to do it. So, since you're there, the Douglas the Fugless, have you had a chance to break Baron War or the Baron's War out in anger yet? Or are you just still priming the pump with the painting?
Priming the pump? Is that a naughty expression?
No.
No, just look at the lovely tartan. So
It's
many.
probably just plaid.
I'll never learn the difference.
Tartan was invented by the English to sell to people. Ooh.
That's either very good or very bad.
That's not bad. It's very fruity and refreshing. Wicklow Wolf.
It did say fruit, didn't it?
Medley of raspberry, blackberry, blueberry. Jam-packed with rumours of ripe berries. Bunny Carroll. Newton Mount Kennedy. Okay, well, you do you. Wicklow Wolf, you do you.
Welcome, Zork. Hello, friends of General Haig.
Or Andy for short.
Who needs
You're gonna-
such a short name?
Oh, yeah, you know. I do. It's the only way I remember. You're going to be at Salute. You're running the game. I can't remember if you asked. I may have asked that. I may have answered that one. I don't know. I haven't a clue. Anyway. Apparently we're going to be at Salute this year. So that's going to be fun.
That's nice. So is he.
Good. I know one of the things they were talking about was doing plenty of stuff around the tables and the game boards. Because that was apparently very popular. And I'm going, that's good, because that's what I was planning on doing anyway. If you think I'm just going to walk around a hall and talk to merchants, you're sadly mistaken. You've clearly never met me. I'll be over there looking at the people doing the stuff with the tiny fighting men.
Enjoying yourself, hopefully. Haggis night. We want to see the games, not the shops. Yeah, that's pretty much.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah. Shops are all the same, more or less.
Pretty much. Well, do what any good person would do. I'll do all the games, and then Justin or somebody else can go and talk to shopkeepers.
So
unless
that will
there's somebody I want to talk to, in which case I'll talk to them. I'm a fickle fucker.
that will be Justin then. Also, I'm guessing you won't be talking to the shop per se, but you will have a special interest in a special person at some point. So that's
Maybe.
fair
Who
enough.
knows? So far away. Who can say for certain?
Indeed.
There's so many videos and RPG books you can watch. Oh, excellent. We'll be doing 17th century Swedes and Poles now. We'll be doing 50mm modern. Ah, well, you can't have everything.
Sweets. I could crave for some licorice.
Completely. That's not true. Actually, I found a packet of licorice from the Danes the other day that I'd put on a shelf and forgotten about, which was a nice little bonus to me.
Yeah, that's those are the best surprises. Oh, I totally forgot. I put this here for later. Now is later. Nom 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 nom.
Well done.
but I would have to get up and go to the kitchen, and also
Yeah, well, mine's not in this room,
not worth it.
so not right now.
Speaking of getting up, where were you getting next to?
Another short little update.
A stunty update.
Hmm.
Dolga.
We did say we wouldn't come back until they painted something.
And they did.
They did. They built and painted something.
Horrible.
It's one of those tanks. It may or may not have a floor. Nobody knows for certain.
This is going to be a running gag from now on with GW.
I think so.
New vehicle comes out. Does it have a bottom?
So nobody wants to be Flintstoning their way across the battlefield. A lot of winged hussars.
I don't know why, but these dudes in front of the tank look
Yes.
like somebody took a straw puppet and just slapped it on.
The bodies are fantasy zombies, GW's multi-part fantasy zombies. The heads belong to the old Warhammer fanatic plastics, so they don't look like zombies. So their arms and legs are really out of proportion because their zombies were a terrible kit, whereas the fanatics actually look like they've been sculpted by somebody who'd seen a human in real life.
Oh, that's what I love about talking with you so much. The amount of insult you're managing to get into one little sentence is just sheer amazing.
It's practice. That's what it comes down to. Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, I'm guessing having worked in retail is a big help in that regard.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
That's why I stayed away from that. As far as I could humanly possible manage.
Yeah, so a Castigator, which presumably is a more recent addition whenever they updated the codex, because they didn't have one of those in my day. I quite like it's got the standard sort of steel and gold look to it, but then the accents with the white ceramic and the red ties it into the rest of the armor. I want to say it's Bloody Rose he's painting, isn't it? Because it's not.
I think
No, it's not Bloody Rose. I'm not going. I'm not scrolling that far down to find out. Not happening.
Yeah, but all in all, that's a. I'll leave a comment and go back.
He might actually be here because he watches this. He just doesn't chat. Because there was a week where I told him where he could find the color conversion charts in the video and said I'll post it in your thing later on, and forgot to post it in the project, but then he stuck it in himself anyway. So he lurks, doesn't talk, but yeah, I do like it. I like the OSL as well from the flaming lamps on the side. If there was one thing I would say though, because obviously they're all very yellow.
Yeah.
Either like a red or brown ink wash on the actual metal parts right down the middle, because yes, it will heat up and yes, you'll get light shining through, but it won't come all the way through the metal. You want it to sort of have like a cast iron cherry glow or just a darker shaded bit, so that it really makes the bright light pop from the center of the flame.
Especially on the front too, because there's no flame. There's just
Burning
what you
coals.
call, yeah, just glowing coals, nothing more.
Yeah, on those especially. But yeah, just a wash and ink, something like that. Chestnut brown if you don't want to be too clever, or you could do red and then black in the middle after it's dried, just something like that. But anyway, other than that, quite nice. I like
Yeah,
it.
indeed.
Someday I'll paint my own things. I've got such a simple color scheme and I'm still not doing it. Actually, he's talking about The Exorcist. I've had an Exorcist kicking about this room for months, and I knocked it over and broke the top off it because the top is like metal and then all the rest of the body is plastic, so it's very tippable.
Top heavy.
Incredibly top heavy. I go. So yeah, so this brick, that's all metal. That's metal. Everything below that waterline is plastic. So it just went back at one point, and then this part came off in its entirety. That bit there just went. Yep, I don't live here anymore. It's like, oh, you son of a bitch. Let's pop you back on. Someday I'll glue you back and I'll paint you. I won't do that.
Well, if the tank didn't have an undercarriage, you could have just put a weight in it.
I mean, well, now that bit comes off again, I could weight it. Because I could definitely get in there and just fill it up with anything I want. Just fill it with resin.
Lead.
Well, resin would do because I can pour resin in and it will just,
Oh, you know what you could do? You could get some old metal miniatures you really despise, put them in.
I don't have any metal miniatures I despise. If I despise them, I didn't buy them. That's how that goes.
Somebody might have gifted you some.
No. I did get some stuff recently, actually, which is fucking amazing. But I'll keep that for like a weekender where I just show it all off and go, these things, you don't have these things, you'll suck. Anyway.
You're the kindness in person.
Yep. No, not a taco holder, unfortunately. It's too big to fit inside.
That one goes to Ben directly. So the next one, Rickyard. Why is this sorted wrong? I don't know why. Oh, maybe because he completed it. Arrgh.
Yes. I thought that's why he wanted to show it off, although I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did, but when I
he hadn't hit complete whenever you
yes,
put it in.
It was still correctly sorted, or sorted for our pleasure.
You may be aware of this project.
If you have followed the Weekender in any capacity.
Well, or if you watch the amazingness that was the... I have no idea what we called them. The Cogs Community Awards.
The Wanks.
The Wanks. He was a recipient of a wank. He is a wanker. I think that's how that goes, isn't it?
Yep.
So it's now done and dusted, so you two can see everything from the initial I want to play this game to I'm going to have to build a load of extra stuff and here's how we're going to do it, all the way through to fighting the actual game out.
Speaking of things we want to play, today I mailed one of the local friendly game stores to see if they had anything in store that isn't Warhammer.
Right.
And I've got a quick reply, and they said, yeah, we carry X-Wing, Armada, and Legion, and some Reaper bones.
There you go. It's like they knew that you were all on board for the Star Wars, the War Between the Stars.
Yeah, but knowing that store, knowing the pricing, I'm not going to switch for a convenience store that delivers cheaply to my doorstep to them.
Well, that's true. You wouldn't even switch to a store that had something in another country. You're much more content to hang on for the 7 months or whatever it was.
174 days.
Well, yeah, you do you, mate. Bitty boy. Anyway, the whole madness of this, I suppose it's self-contained. Yeah, self-contained project. So painting, the modelling, the building, and then the battle report itself. has come all the way through to even finishing off the game and giving us the epilogue. Spoilers, by the way. Are you planning on scrolling all the way down? Because you'll ruin it for people.
Well, of course I'm going down all the way.
Oh my god, you're just the worst. Right, I'm not going to ruin it for people, but if people are staring at his screen, you might get it ruined for you. But finishes off with the epilogue, as Ed Edmondson would say. And there's even some after action sort of little nuggets, little tiddly bits. Things like what they would change if they had to redo the game, what worked and what didn't for trying to do a mega game. Now, I'm not saying they did it arse about face, because clearly it's how they wanted to do it. But whenever I was designing any mega battle, I would start by playtesting the scenario and seeing how it worked. And once the scenario was working, then I got whatever figures were needed painted. And that way you weren't painting more than you needed, or you didn't have the wrong stuff. And if it means you're playing with empty bases or just, cardboard or wooden tiles or whatever it happens to be to get you through the game, so be it. Because when you're doing something at such an extreme, there's nothing worse than finding out that, you've over-egged the pudding, shall we say. So, once you finally get to playing with everything painted, you're going to have an enjoyable experience all the way through and not hit some sort of horrible seventh turn of just nothing but hundreds of dice rolls for 1 inch of movement type of thing. It's just grim up north then. So yeah, some interesting little ideas about how they planned it out, presented it, and of course played through it all. It was all good.
After action nugget sounds like a flash problem, says Dark Denigan.
No, I've got very, very decent flash here. Plenty of water going through the system.
Oh, it's nice to see that chat's being so adult.
Is it? It doesn't sound like our chat.
It wouldn't be now.
Ben wanted to give you a wank, Crispin, but I told him that your stuff was too old to achieve a wank. Maybe you'll get a wank this year.
Disqualified due to age.
What one was it? It was the architect one. And I think he was going to give it for HMS Wheatstraw. And I literally said to Ben, going, I have absolutely no problem with you giving that to Crispin, except he did that last year during lockdown. Not this year. And Ben just went, shit. But if it's any help, I'll wait until you've given out all the prizes, and then I'll tell Crispin that I stopped him from getting one. So, anyway.
That's house water for you.
Hashtag best house. To be fair, Ben's part of house water as well.
That's why I said it. It's a conglomeration of backstabbing bastards.
Oh, backstabbing? There's no backstabbing there. He knows what he did. You're right, he does. You are right. But anyway, yeah, Ricard's magnificent octopus, or at least Mamluk, is it's good to see. And if you weren't paying attention, you may not have seen who won then, with Scrolly Boy there, who decided to scroll all the way to the bottom, like a Scrolly scroll things. Shall we?
I didn't scroll anywhere. Delving back into paint pen.
Paint.
Draconis. Let me get rid of the empty bottle.
Oh yeah, we don't want you getting high off the fumes of brown lemonade.
Oh, wait. There's more.
Oh no. Oh Jesus. Not twofer. It's double festing the brown lemonade, lads.
Nah, this
No, it's not.
This is orange. This is the
just something to take the edge off.
Yeah, to calm down, to appease the liver.
That makes sense. Anyway,
so we have been here before on Draconis, his, hers, theirs, whatever
His.
project.
Yeah,
the,
so after being bullied into doing his first project by somebody who's very tall and handsome, um, they decided to get a second one on the go, and very helpfully decided to do Dead Zone. And a lot of this would be down to building and working out sub-assemblies and how to paint a load of terrain, which I'm forever grateful for, because I could just wait for them to finish and then steal all their ideas. Because I've been sitting on mine from fucking Dead Zone 1. Actually, I'm playing Dead Zone this week with Bo. Dead Zone and Firefight is the plan for this Saturday, which reminds me I need to book a table with Tom. And also I need to decide what we're going to be playing.
I still need to build this.
Oh my god, it takes so long. Not as long as me, mind you. But you'll get good advice in here.
I hope so. That's why I dug that out.
I looked today and I was thinking, oh fuck, I could do Maison Labs, because I have plenty. Plenty of Maison Lab stuff from Star Saga and then the GCPS from past Dead Zone and Warpath Kickstarters. So I could actually run Maison Labs. But the rules for Firefight don't come out until the 6th of February, and we're going to be playing the week before. It's like, bastards. So I'll just have to shelve the Maison for the time being. However, colourful sci-fi indeed. One of the most colourful bits is the terrainery that's been put together at the moment. And it's very simple. It is I've got a fuck ton of terrain to build and paint. How can I do it as quickly as humanly possible? Why? By spraying block colors and then masking and spraying and masking and spraying. So it gives that Dead Zone look. You've a lot of grays and then really high contrast color highlight parts on it, hazard stripes or little bits of poppy color here and there, just as little sort of accent pieces and splashes.
At the end, it looks like some kind of weird cookie.
And it looks, yeah, it looks really well whenever it's put together. I mean, that big six-piece construct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I beg your pardon. The 5-stack construct of all the buildings stacked up in a corner waiting to have whatever bit of paint on them. I'm just going, that just looks great. That looks good. I actually have a set of, I had to buy some, well, I didn't have to buy some. I bought some stencils from Place America, and since I was ordering them for my Billion Sun ships, it was like, well, fuck it, I'm going to have to pay postage from the States. Let's see what else I can get. And they do a set of hazard stripes, lots of chevrons and shit like that in different sizing. So you can put onto like walkways and big mechanical industrial areas and stuff. So I've actually got some of those to do myself.
Is that the stencil you showed for people using on bot war streets?
No. Did I? Maybe. Let's say yes. What are we talking about?
You showed off, I think, in Discord, somebody asked about making stencils on streets basis for bot war, I think, if I remember correctly.
Let's say yes. I know we talked about it. I've only ever done it using masking tape, which takes an age. I'm very lazy, and I kept going, I could just use this, and then I would go, I can't use this. That wouldn't work at all. Actually, it probably would, because I've got very small chevrons, which kind of do like merging lanes sort of thing. But, you know, it could be arsed. I barely can be arsed to put the fucking bottles together. But look at that. Look how magnificent that looks for what is relatively a small investment of time. There's probably more time spent masking it.
Yeah, definitely.
Than there is actually applying paint to the miniature in places. And I like the grey. The only issue I have with the grey yellow is I'm looking at doing that for my lab techs for the Maison Labs. Because the studio paint job for Star Saga had them in uniforms that look like that. And I'm worried about them being in the same light grey and yellow. But, you know, that's an issue for another day.
Miniatures suddenly becoming invisible on your terrain.
Well, yeah, the bright color scheme's great. The when you hit the industrial blocks where they're just solid yellow, like JCB type of heavy plant machinery. I really like that idea. It keeps the colors consistent, but breaks up the sort of standard residential grey, shall we say. Although I do actually like the idea of possibly color coordinating some of the buildings. So yellow stripes, industrial offices, blue stripes, fucking commercial district type of thing, especially with the street signs and stuff they have now as well. The important part is when he's done, I'll be able to just swoop in and steal all. Because the hardest part is if you're gonna build it and just keep it, you're not going to disassemble everything every week. You're going, well, the minute you put stuff together and glue it, then you're going, well, that's this stock now. I always have a 2x1 or a 3x2 or an L-shaped or whatever it happens to be. And that's always been the big blocker for me. If anybody's seen Dreadpath Zone YouTube channel, they did a couple of interesting bits on how they put their buildings together. And it's worth checking out as well because they were sub-assemblies and stuff.
So this reminds me of a question I had on my mind regarding this Mantic terrain all along. So these little connectors aren't meant to go on and off easily, so that this is actually to be meant as a solid structure to be glued together.
Yes.
Because technically you could just use it like Lego.
Yes. The whole idea is you can disassemble it. It comes with, I suppose, pegs.
Yeah, those tiny connectors.
So, and the whole point is that you can put it together, play your game, disconnect it into panels and then connectors into a bag, and then the next time you play, put it together again. And the only reason I'm probably not going to do that is it's just the time consumption of building your terrain before a game. If I was playing here at home and I could do it the night before, whatever, it wouldn't make a difference. It's because if I'm traveling an hour up the road to the studio to play, the fact that we then have to stop and assemble the terrain for half an hour before we start actually deploying whatever, that obviously that's a pain in the hole. So I think smaller buildings that are done as sub-assemblies then that could be combined so that you can put like a couple back to back to make a larger piece, and then ones that will stack on top to make more height and that sort of thing. But yeah, the whole plan behind it and the whole way it's designed is you can disassemble. The early stuff was a pain in the backside, but well, I found that the early stuff you had to go and clean all the recesses out because of the flashing on them, because they when they cast, it wasn't a flat hole, it wasn't a flat square in the middle. All of the edges would push together so that they could get them out of the machine a bit easier. So you didn't get a perfectly square hole, you got something that narrowed to the middle and then widened again out the other side. So you had to go in and clean all those substantially first. But I mean, I'm a nerd, so who likes cleaning stuff. I didn't really mind the cleaning. I would just sit and clean stuff for ages. I have substantially more than Draconis has put together there. Fucking substantially more.
Cleaning miniatures is your zen.
Which is, I much prefer to paint them. I love painting, but I'm not fastidious about cleaning. It just takes me a while to get to the cleaning.
Yeah, as I've written in the forum today, or was it yesterday, I found myself having way more fun assembling stuff than painting and playing currently.
Crispin, yes, we do, and it's all built and painted. I probably should have thought of that. Yeah.
Shall we go on?
The map of the stats. See that stat map? Where it goes, build these pieces, build these 4 miniatures, put them over these silhouettes. Fucking genius.
Yeah.
Why has nobody ever done that before is beyond me.
I'm guessing because money?
Oh, I don't know. It's just Yeah, it's a piece of piss in comparison, but you know, hey ho. Anyway, yes, let's go on. It'll be fascinating to see what else Draconis does. Or maybe I just send him a big bag full of all the empty squares. He just send me that. That would save a lot of hassle.
So Ugleb is on the verge of doing stuff.
Yeah, for Star Wars Legion. Now, this isn't Star Wars Crisis Protocol. This is one of these other games that already exists, that people put a lot of time, effort, and money into, that's about to be shelved forever. What a shame. By the way, who wants to guess how much a Droideka is going to cost? Because apparently it hasn't been announced. I'm betting you get 2 in a box for $50. That's my bet now.
And it's hard to argue when the usual squad
Well,
is going
you
to
know,
be 45.
The alternative could be 1 in a box for 30.
30. Given that the squad size is only 4 miniatures, I could see that. 1 for 30.
Anyway, so Ugleb's been working on this for a while. Interesting thing about this is he seems to be using something called acrylic paint. It's like a contrast, but it's one flat color. I haven't heard of this acrylic paint before, but you know, maybe it's going to be the next big thing, where you like put a paint down. It's there.
Yeah,
That's your paint.
Maybe people do some kind of undercoating in shades via the medium of dry brushing.
Wow.
And then call it...
I'm trying to remember what Soap's fantastic new paint scheme was called, where you do a shade, a base color, and a highlight. I want to say it was something like Jizz, but I can't honestly remember.
Slapdick?
No, it could have been Slapdick.
What? Or Dick Touch.
Dick Touch. Dick Touch. I think Dick Touch is very much going to be the coming thing. Anyway, yeah. So really nice work done on these. And yes, Denzian, clear acrylic bases for everything. I actually own quite a lot of them because I ordered them once going, I wonder what these are like, and then put stuff on top of them and base them so you can't tell that there's actually clear bases underneath any of it, because they'd be the same price as, you know, filled in bases. It's like, oh, lovely these. Oh, that's what they look like in real life. Right, let's cover it in texture and then paint it all so you can't see it anymore. Good.
Oh, I have a stroke of genius. I'm scaring myself. You know, like, these mines are color-coded so you can see where they are. These things come in 2 halves, so this is a hollow miniature. You could
magnetize it.
Prior to assembly, put a LED in the bottom that then shines onto the acrylic, which then illuminates the rim of the acrylic.
Interesting. You do that, let us know how it works.
Oh, hell, I won't.
No.
I might pitch that to
Blinky.
Blinky.
Because you like to torture him, apparently.
No. I like to torture in general.
All right, then, fair enough. Fair enough.
Brown washing. Dip it. Is Cookie still around? Has he dipped his Ascreeds yet?
Ascreed. No, he said something about salt earlier when Ascreed was mentioned. He ran off. It was terrible. I do like the range ruler thing at the start, but it's such a non-Star Wars color scheme that all I can see is Tau when I looked at them.
Yeah. And
I was looking at going, is it a Tau barricade set?
I've made mine in the similar fashion, just I used blue and white as R2 colors.
Oh, okay. Well, you do you. You Tau yourself to happiness.
It is very important to color in the dots at the end so that people will know which speed the miniature is running at.
Wish I'd use clear for Stargrave.
To be fair, had I known prior to building all my Legion stuff that
That would be
something
redundant.
that
Be
a
replaced.
yeah, at least for the objective markers and stuff, because they don't need a base for any reason. So miniatures, I probably would have left on the
Plinths.
proper base.
The bottle tops.
Yes.
I actually have fucking Coke bottles that have got a smaller depth on the lids than those things. They're fucking enormous. But anyway.
Yeah. But it has one advantage. They are so deep you can put in a what do I call it? A washer made for cars, so you can magnetize everything else.
Fair enough. Had to
And
be
it's
some
just-
bonus to them, didn't there?
And it's also so heavy on the lowest part of the miniature, you are barely unable to knock them over unless you really, really try. You can flick them, but they still will stand up again.
It's the best way. I also like this droid color scheme. And somebody's going to tell me that this appeared in like one of the cartoons, but I tried to not watch the cartoons after I watched the first 20 minutes of one and discovered it was hot garbage. So the sort of the pinky purple.
I can't remember if it was on any cartoony, but then again, I'm very keen on forgetting such things most of the times.
I like it because it just breaks it up from being the standard everything's sort of taupe
Beige
or
and
yellow
green.
or beige. Yeah, they're add a bit of color to your life. I think Greystoke went completely the other direction. I think he went totally off book for the colors. It's been a long time since I've looked at his project, which means he mustn't have updated in a while.
And to be fair, if you look at many projects or things that came out for Star Wars after the original prequels, that the robots, the battle droids, get shown in as sort of kind of mercenaries in almost every part of the galaxy.
Okay.
They're like the Volkswagen Beetle. They're just everywhere.
Fair enough.
And some like to paint them very colorful. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some quartered ones with shields from fucking way back. That are really distinctive. It's like the Joker's come to visit. So yeah, I like the overall look of the droids for not being the standard dull brown.
Yeah. And I should get for next time pictures of the battle droids that Crispin sent me Christmas 2 years ago.
Oh,
They're in candy cane colors.
nice. nice.
Yeah.
Hamburger country.
So next.
We go this way, and then we go to there. Plinths. Yep. Nobody likes well, Lloyd doesn't like plinths.
Turgin Turps.
Yeah. Decided to replace the Lego with miniatures a little while ago, and since then has been doing some unusual bits and pieces. Pardon me. This one is experimenting with speed paints. I mean, most people would look at that and go, yeah, grey with a white dry brush over the top of it, that should be enough to give you distinctive look. But they discovered the grey was still too dark for the speed paints.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a fair
if
point.
you want to have bright colors, you need a very bright undercoat.
I think you're probably better just sticking with white all the time, to be brutally honest. Or if you want to do it, go with your buff color and then dry brush white.
Yeah.
But interesting thing then was going, well, this didn't really work. Let's go back, give it a dry brush in yellow, I think, and then hit it again with the green over the top, which did obviously bring out a lot more of the hue and vibrancy. Look at us using big clever words of the colour of the green. I will say, it does look like he's pebble dashed that miniature though. That's received one spray paint and dry brush too many. It's time to visit Mr. Dettol. But you know,
Mr. Dettol is your friend.
it's always good to see the most prevalent elf in the world ever in the Sword of Twilight.
I've got him in the box somewhere.
Everybody's got him. He was free on the front cover of White Dwarf. It's like the last time they give a free metal miniature away. Jeez, everybody in their dog. I've got 2 right now, and that's a substantial decrease over time. He gets about so much. He's even in the Army Painter paint set for D&D. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, the box I keep him in is the 6th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battle box.
Whamster.
With all the unbuilt and unpainted Imperial and Orcs.
I like the Orc also having brown skin, not being the standard GW green affair. Reddish brown skin, I think, looks much better on Orcs. I have to be brutally honest.
I think that's a color scheme that was also established in the Dark Eye. The RPG.
Yeah, Dark Eye. I have a sneaking suspicion Tolkien as well. Tolkien started it with brown-skinned orcs, and I don't know when they ever went green. Yeah. Hey-ho.
That's an odd set of miniatures.
Great set of miniatures. That pig-faced orc woman. You don't want to go near her. Real sad. Really. Has that orc got 6 breasts? Yes, it does.
But it's also got a pig head, so maybe it's not an orc?
Could be a pig-faced orc. I tell you what, it's not a dog-faced kobold. Bastards. My times where we've discussed kobolds and I have to not call them dog-faced bastards, especially in the Weekender. But it's like by rote these days. Anytime a friend would include them in any sort of game, we'd always immediately refer to them as dog-faced bastards. So yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, I like it. Interesting. See where they've come from, leaving the Lego behind. Obviously, goes without saying.
It's going to be interesting where he's going to go with that miniature. If he actually gets it stripped down again or repainted or just...
I don't think they're going to bother. I don't think they're as anally retentive as I am when it comes to the graining. It was just a case of, let's try these colours out. Does this work? No. Right, now I know what I need to do when it comes to painting the other stuff. I mean, they're one step away from just chucking a Braemar beige dry brush over the top and bosh. At which point, all bets are off.
Indeed. So, the second to last project for tonight will be, yet again, Star Wars.
War Amongst the Stars?
Denzian is building Swoop Gang bikes. And I just built them 2 days ago.
Yes.
And it was when I built the sets that I realized, fuck, you could have built them differently, because they actually made the set that the parts are interchangeable.
Oh, so you had multiples, but ended up with pairs, and you could have had 4 totally unique models?
No, you actually only get 2 models.
Oh, you only get 2, okay. Right.
But the front section and the back section are 2 pieces each as well, and the, what do you call them, the struts in the front.
Yep.
So you can either build them this way, or the front and end get interchanged, and also some parts on the front. So you have effectively 4 different bikes, and you have 2 different bikers with in total 6 heads.
Oh, you've done fucked up, boy.
Yeah, I did. I think I need to buy another set.
Yeah. That's the only way to do it. Not the hover bikes from the Book of Boba. No, nobody.
Not the scooters, no.
I don't even think AMG would have the brass neck to release the space mods from the book of bubbly feats.
No, I think nobody would want them.
Oh, so bad. Everything about the space mods was bad. Although not as bad as Bubbly Feet himself, who, lest we forget, was the worst crime lord in the history of crime lords.
Also, the set of IG-88 contains enough parts for 2.5 models.
Well, more than that, Denzian was saying you could potentially make 3 if you just had another head.
Let's see, we can check that theory.
And I mean, of all the things to be missing, the head's the easiest thing to sculpt on an IG, because it is just a pointed rod, like a balsa rod and a lathe, and you could make your own.
Oh,
Just
where's
drill a
that?
couple of holes and then stick 1mm pin through it to get the eye rays pointing at different angles and stuff. Just essentially make a miniature version of Kerplunk and stick it on top of the body, and away you go.
So-
IG-88's head.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4 arms, 2 completed legs, no, 4 arms and 4 legs with hip joint, 1 body. Yeah, it's only
Yep.
a head missing and a base.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's worried about the base.
Well, anybody except me.
Well, don't worry. If you ask on the internet, there are plenty of people with their Pride and a whole stack of those plinth bases that they haven't used. So you could probably get them if you needed the base, just for consistency's sake. But yeah,
So
I
if
mean-
you're out there watching and you have a stack of Star Wars Legion bases you're not wanting, send them to me. They get a good home.
can't argue with that. Can't argue with that.
Well,
I mean, let's face it. Denzin is not a man who's adverse to a bit of scratch building and sculpting. Have you done the other head yet to make your third?
Can you remember how long ago Legion went for plastic sprues? I'm going to say it's about 1.5 years.
I can't
Roughly.
remember off the top of my head. I do remember it was in lockdown because I remember the reveal for the Clone Wars box by Fantasy Flight, and at that point they were saying everything was going to be hard plastic.
Yeah.
And then the next bunch of releases came out and none of them were hard plastic. It's like, you lying fucks.
Yeah, the first hard plastics were
The first hard plastics were the Clone Wars starter set, the bots and the clones,
yeah,
and
and most
blah,
of the
blah.
thing after that hadn't been designed before. I'm just asking because I only collect 2 factions.
give them a Roger head. Nice. That'd be really good though, because we know that the heads work regardless of what. Although we also know that the bodies and the heads work independently based on that time where
C-3PO was
C-3PO
on the
got stuck onto
Yeah.
a bot's
Battleground.
body, and he was shooting everybody and apologizing for it. It goes to show the head's really just there as a sop to humanity or alienity, that they need to look distinctly humanoid-esque for us to relate to them.
And-
Really, that head could just be left off, and these
And
mindless
this
mechanical
is-
killing machines could be just wandering around the battlefield.
This is what I have as spare parts for Legion with all the releases, with just
Wow.
buying into 2 sets. So the biggest thing was the actual Wookiee set, the latest one they brought out. There's so many arms and heads, but no torso.
Oh, shame. I'm just waiting at the moment, to be brutally honest. I'm just waiting for Atomic Mass to cancel it, and then I'm just going to sweep up a load of stuff in a fire sale, and just so I've got a couple of armies worth. I can't
going
be
out
arsed anymore.
on a limb here, and I'm going to say if Atomic Mass is actually saying, yeah, we are stopping this game, you will not have any stock to buy because it will be gone already.
Yeah, but I'm working on the principle that people are so disenfranchised and enfranchised with them that when they do finally announce it, nobody's going to notice for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the best hope you can have is some angry person on the internet who's trying to burn his army.
Hairy armed rebel troopers. Just get a load of Mandalorian bodies and stuff. And then put
Wow.
the big hairy Wookiee arms.
I've got a do-bag rider body.
Well,
And
there you go.
plenty of arms. Oh,
Plenty of arms is good.
you know what? Do you remember that one time I bought the surprise package from that one flagship store that made sold off incomplete sets?
Yes,
They-
dimly.
The running gag was whenever they sold something miniature related, it always said on the box arms missing. Somebody has been collecting arms for ages. For whatever reason. And mostly it was Legion stuff. So since I now have a smallish collection of arms with arms and guns, I could get myself some of those.
It's a way to go. Mix it up. Keep people guessing. Who gets this quote? Obviously, we've had hello there, but this is normal for you.
I couldn't have read it that fast.
Well, it's normal for you.
Oh, that's the quote.
That's the quote.
No idea.
Adam's Family.
Hmm.
When Morticia's doing the whole normal for the spiders, chaos for the fly.
Oh yeah, that very famous quote of hers that they also used in the Wednesday TV series.
I heard there was a Wednesday TV series, and then I heard that Wednesday danced in it, and I seen it on the YouTubes, and it wasn't the dance from the original black and white 60s.
No,
I was thinking, why did they not just have her do the original dance? She's famous for that fucking dance.
because
Why-
she's a
why'd you get rid of-
teenager and needs to be sexy. That's
No,
why she got
that's-
that dress in the first place.
It's an outrage. I did see a pitch meeting about it where it just sounds like it's grog shit.
And the TV series isn't that bad, but it
Right.
wasn't not that great either.
There was several significant plot holes based on what I seen from pitch meeting. Was going, but isn't the whole point of her that she wouldn't give a shit when that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the monster that's the red thing, what you call it, the red line through all the story, looks like the person that we actually come to learn it is. So
Hashtag spoilers.
nah.
Also, Wednesday's great grandmother looks just like her,
Yeah, very similar.
except her great grandmother was an Adams
And not a Gomez.
and not somebody else. So
Yeah, Dudley, I've watched it with my wife, and it's entertainment. It's not bad. But I don't think it will be some kind of hit series for the ages.
well, that's all right. They can't take the original Adams Family away from me, so fuck them.
Yeah, thing was nice. The only thing that visually annoyed me was that Gomez Adams looked like a barrel. He's a literal fat dude.
Yeah, but that's how he was originally drawn in the first comics.
Well, I only knew him from the original TV series, so and then the late 90s movie.
Yeah, no, they handsome. I mean, he's got progressively more handsomer throughout the years, whereas he shouldn't be. The whole point is he should be a pug ugly little man.
Well, that he is in that series. But then again,
But anyway, yeah, some lovely stuff there from Denzian. He even got Prince Zizor.
Shizor.
It's pronounced Shizor.
I'm going with Shizor.
There's a great bit in. There's a film that we should all watch. It's not the greatest movie of all time, but it's right up there. It's called Free Enterprise. And if you've not seen it, you should immediately go and find it if you're a nerd.
I think I've seen it.
Two nerds working on the fringes of Hollywood, approaching their 40th birthday, midlife crisis kind of thing. It's all about growing up, coming of age, being nerds. There's some great moments in it. William Shatner is a recurring character playing himself. He wants to put on a one-man musical version of Julius Caesar where he plays all the parts, except Caesar's wife, Copernica. I think I could get Sharon Stone for this. She'd be amazing. Anyway, and you get some kid criticizing or correcting one of the adults about how you pronounce Prince Caesar, and they're like, right, enjoy. By the way, his one-man musical version of Julius Caesar was amazing. Because we get a taste of it at the end. So,
let's get on to our last project of the evening then.
No, Nerds Traveling to a Con is called Fanboys. One of them's going to die, and they're... Oh, William Shatner's in that, though. They're trying to track down an early copy of The Phantom Menace.
Got him again, but for reasons, because they did even more stuff.
Bot war, bot war, bot. Oh, hang on a minute now.
No, not this time.
So, last October, somebody local decided that they would be interested in trying out Kings of War with a view to playing Ambush in January. Ambush, if you're not aware, is the mini version of the Kings of War game to let people sort of play test it. So smaller armies from a quarter to half standard size to get you into it. They want to play ogres, and Jill was... I didn't pick any of the projects, Dan. I'm blameless this week. But yeah, Jill decided the massive box of dwarves that I'd been doing for Alcohol Squared would be pulled into action. And the idea was a very simple colour scheme, going for the classic leather and green of World of Warcraft / Warcraft. Gingerbeards ahoy. And I mean, when you're painting a big army like this, simple, repeatable colour schemes are the way to go, which is exactly how I do it.
Squirrel!
A squirrel, indeed. Squirrel. Tubby squirrel. I had to go down to the park 4 times last week. And normally I just do, like, on a Sunday, I go out for a squirrel walk. Or squant, as I call it, a squirrel hunt. Go for like an hour's walk around the park on Sunday morning as my one stop to actually getting some sort of exercise. But because the place was fucking snowing like a bastard and everything frozen solid, I was down 4 times last week. Multiple bags of nuts to feed the squirrels. I'm not capturing squirrels. I don't know where you got this idea from. I don't have bags full of squirrels anymore.
Also, why would you?
Hey, you know.
You need hamsters for the service, not squirrels.
I don't go anywhere near the servers. But I put together a quite a tight and dare I say it, cheeky ambush list, because that regiment of earth elementals is defense 6. And in a small point game where your opponent's not going to have a huge amount of anything,
damage output.
having a defense 6 unit in there, I don't care if it's only a fucking regiment, what are they, 12, 14 maybe. I suppose they are hampered on the grounds that I don't think there's anybody with surge to actually get them moving, so they're going to be slow. But defense 6, you live with yourself.
So this is what you would call a filth list.
Very much a filth list. So yes, it's a joy to behold. I'll be interested to see what goes on to the shields. I would suggest squirrels.
Squirrel!
I think I've got a set of squirrels.
But not a filth wizard. Not yet, at least.
Not a filth wizard. Well, there's another. in Carthage Must Be Destroyed's most recent Kickstarter for his third batch of transfers. It may or may not have Filth Wizards in there. I haven't really paid attention. He launched it. I just went in and went, send me 2 of every sheet. Didn't even scroll down to see what's on. I literally have no idea what's on the fucking sheets. It's still running. But yeah, be interesting to see. Presumably, I mean, with the whole Iron Forge feel, the frosty bases and all the rest, then if there is an actual symbol for Iron Forge and for King Maggie, but I can't remember what it is. I remember Gnomes had that cog. Oh, I don't know. No. Old age has got to me. Alcohol has addled my mind and I don't know what it is, but maybe we'll see. Maybe there'll be a lot of very Iron Forge specific transfers going on there.
Oh, you remember that jerry can you did on nail
Yes.
stamps?
Always.
I was trying to find it today, couldn't find it on the site, but somebody asked for unusual hobby tips, and I said, yeah, you could use nail stamps. What is nail stamps? And then he went off. Oh, I'm so getting this. And then he found someone on Etsy doing Star Wars logos in tiny nail size.
All I'll say is oil paint is the way to go, and if you don't like using oil, then you will need to use a retarder for acrylics. But otherwise, yeah.
And also you need a good stamp. I've got the old stamp set that my wife had, and the silicone is just gone. It's sticky and clingy, and it doesn't work.
I keep getting, that's not that. Stampers about here somewhere because the fucking sheets are there. I keep getting emails from the people going, we're doing this week. If you want to be here, and because I got one like, if I go past your spam, I got one about 20 minutes before we started. There you go. Get a nail strip free with your next order. No, you're okay. I think it must have been before Christmas, the previous one, where if you got like several of the stampy pad type things, you got like one free. So it was all good.
Yeah, we'll have a look at the local nail shops.
I mean, a lot of them are hot garbage. They're just not suitable. But then you'll get ones with repeating designs or patterns or whatever, and they are, nailed on for Oriental or whatever happens to be. That's actually a very good point. I've got a lot of samurai in my future, so some form of patterns for the kimonos, but they're not kimonos. They've got another name.
Could also be very useful for the stuff
Yukanas.
that Horatio is painting up with his Saracen.
Yeah, to get the, or even Persians with the ridiculous pajamas. Oh my God, I hate Persians so much. Have you heard of one color cloth Persians? I know
Yes.
you must have, but why do you choose not to use it, you fucks?
We see
Swirls
reality
and dots and stripes and checks and lozenges and fucking, it makes the paisley pattern print look relatively mundane and easily repeatable.
We see your reality and reject it and substitute it with our own.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Good times. Good times.
Indeed. And since this is getting late and my bladder is killing me,
It's because it's filled with Hitler's favourite brown juice. That's why.
what goes in must go out. I think that's the terminology. The biological workings I'm unaware of, but somehow it all goes down.
Why grim
don't you...
dark persons? I mean, like the
Grim
ones from
dank
300 that were all
slapdick
in
Persians.
black with silver masks. Could do that.
Or you could do just naked people. That would be way more easy.
I mean, there's a fox, some birds, there's a thistle. I think this is the last set he's doing as well, Dustin was saying, because I think he's more or less exhausted the book of heraldry for actual heraldic things. So there's a lot of lions and leopards, epic birds. Not a Norwegian blue, although I would be so tempted to put all the parrots lying on their backs.
Actually, there are Monty Python miniatures, so you need to get those, and then.
What do you mean I need to get those? I backed the original Kickstarter for them. I have the complete set there.
Yeah, and use if any of those miniatures have shields, then put the blackbird, the bluebird on the back.
They also did a set of transfers for them based on the heraldry they were wearing in the actual Holy Grail, and I've got those as well. So
you need a second.
I need a follow-up set of Python-esque knights that I can put a few dead parrots on their shields. Other animals, what we got? Boar, bear, boar, leshen, fox, horse, dancing cow.
A fish with teeth.
A sheep being airlifted. A hedgehog. A bunny. Oh, bunny would be good. Come on,
a fish with a snout. a trunk, a long trunk. Well, yeah.
Sure. Why not? Why not be one of those? And there's that Jesus fella.
Jeebus Christ, that's a good point. So, thank you, wankers out there. See you next week. Jerry, thanks for being here.
Gas cans.
Nature's calling.
We love you a long time.
Have a nice week. See you a lot. Bye. Where's my button? There's my button.